Welcome everyone to episode 4 of Medieval 2 Total War. We now continue on after the loss at the Battle of Kiev.
Orders, my lord.
Oh gosh. Apparently, okay, so basically I'm going to depict to you guys what happened. Basically, my footage of episode 4 began, and I got like 15 minutes through it, and then it corrupted, and so I had to go back, and apparently this is like 5 minutes in, so basically all that we've done is send our person over here, realizing that Thorn has been taken. Reinforcements have come over to assist Viosolav.
Men, march. Combining troops.
He seeks to finally take that which has evaded him. Far over here,
Yes.
our scout continues his journey.
Quietly. No further today.
Your Majesty.
And our princess actually
With
ended up
pleasure.
discovering someone last turn and gaining more charm.
I can do for you, noble lord?
Now I'm gonna trade with the Pope now.
I see no Another proposition? We shall listen, of course. It seems we have reached an agreement. Good. Goodbye. It has been a pleasure.
Now I'm going to send
Will
them
I
down to
be
Sicily.
a part of a proposition? Representing our people.
If only she didn't have a secret love, or then she would probably be pretty awesome at her job. Like, she'd be 6 charm. Which is pretty hard to get, and the AI almost never gets that far.
Yes, lord.
Anywho, I'm going to put this dude here.
We go no
He's going to
further
put. I'm
this
going to put
day,
down
my
watchtowers around my kingdom.
Yes. Establishing
try
a
and
watch post. We move
Be
onward
able to
tomorrow.
defend it at a moment's
Orders, my
notice.
lord. Yes. Establishing a watch post.
There, the border is being watched. This road isn't watched, but there isn't anyone there except for rebels. Michael
Honor to serve, my
shall be sent to secure the east. After the fall of our king, who died of old age in Circle.
Yes.
Now, with several reinforcing units, three riders, which had come from Smolensk, and 1 mercenary spearman sent out last episode. But against the king's best wishes, he chose to make a fatal mistake and commanded the battle from off of the field. This bet had paid out for him now, but it angered the king in doing so.
We are victors.
This would come back to haunt
Honor
Viosolav,
and victory.
but for now,
An honor to
that
serve,
did not
my
concern him. Okay, why does Kiev just have slave resources? That's questionable. Anywho,
My lord.
we gained a quest to basically reinforce Moscow, so I just sent troops from Ryazan to reinforce them. Their forces shall be built up so as to claim the last northeastern province and truly secure our empire in the cold east. To make up for his misgivings,
An honor to serve, my
Viosolav shall be spending the rest of his next few turns putting watchtowers along the border to ensure our nation's safety. Our next expansion is unknown. No, this dude's absolutely bad. No. Besides, I'm still doing diplomacy.
An honor, my lord. I am sure I will have their full attention. How could a man say no to me?
Relations worsen with the Papal States. What did I do? Exist? I mean, I did exist, so I guess there's that. Oh, wait.
Yes, Lord.
There...
Men, an honor to serve, my lord. Yes.
Michael is sent east, ever the courageous. The rebels have taken the watchtower near Ryazan.
God's servant. Of course, my lord. Preaching until morning, my lord.
Our spy shall be sent
Sire.
further and further down to discover
Very good, lord.
what became of the Holy Land, for which the Westerners are obsessed, but us in the far north only seem to boggle at their obsession.
An honor to serve. my lord.
Viosolav, along with
Yes.
the escort of knights,
An honor to serve, my lord.
shall go around the
Orders, my
surrounding
king.
area and place down watchtowers.
Setting a keen watch here, lord. Yes. Be ready to move in the morning, men.
Some wealth can be made here from mining, but it is not enough to be considered
An honor to serve, my lord.
a good investment at the moment. Converting them to orthodoxy is a much more pressing matter. Kaffa finally has enough population to upgrade itself into an actual basic town, fit for more construction. Sarko, the lonely fort, stands in the east, able to be upgraded.
An honor to serve, my lord. Orders, my lord.
The forces in Vilnius build up for a potential attack on the Westerners should they ever show any signs of aggression towards us. But as of the moment, the king and his son stand at the ready. That is also really crap. Why did... Aleppo is striked with disaster. Ryazan now needs 4 troops. I'm just gonna send those same 4 troops
Yes,
back down.
my lord. Men, march! An honor to serve, my lord.
Michael has finally arrived in this far, far land. We shall be building forces.
An honor to
Viosolav
serve, my lord. Yes.
builds another watchtower in the far
Setting
frontier.
a keen watch here, lord. An honor to serve, my lord.
The borders seem to be secure for now, so we shall head back to Kiev.
An honor to serve, my lord. Be ready to move in the morning,
With his
man.
entourage. Ivan
Lord.
arrives in Smolensk.
Forward!
His work there had not yet begun, but the funds of the Empire had run dry for this turn. We would have to wait.
What is it you would discuss with me?
Antonia arrived to meet
I
with
see
Sicily.
no problem here. Excellent. What else would you suggest? We accept this proposal only under great duress. It would seem you are very reasonable. Farewell.
Most of the West had been discovered, but a crusade was called.
The Holy Bible may preach peace, but when it is Christendom itself that is threatened, then it is every Christian's duty to defend all that is holy. His Holiness the Pope has called a crusade to reclaim the Holy Lands from the infidel, who would deny Christian pilgrims their right to visit the holy places. It is time for the armies of Christendom to put aside their differences and unite under one banner, the sign of the cross, and give back God's children what is rightfully theirs, or die trying.
But we aren't even invited. Vladimir takes great offense to the starting of this crusade and the
An honor to serve,
non-consideration of
with honor.
all others in Christendom. But news came that France and England ended up coming into war once more. Not wholly unexpected for their tempestuous history,
Your Majesty,
but something at the moment
Yes.
which could not be seen.
I shall ride on tomorrow, my lord.
Yes.
Cherek Grechmov would
Moving
continue on
quietly.
to see what became of Cairo and this crusade.
An honor to serve, my lord.
Yeah, building up a place to actually get regular infantry over here would be incredibly useful. And also, I forgot to repair that. Kaffa is finally an actual town and can get basic buildings. Once roads are established, our empire shall be much more unified.
Yes. My lord.
Oh,
Yes.
apparently that goal had been accomplished. How large be the force?
Of course. If it is a fight you wish, come closer. An honor to serve, my lord. An
Michael,
honor
the
to serve,
brave,
my lord.
would face
Orders,
these
my
men
king.
head on
Honor
for
and
the glory
courage,
of the Russian
we
kingdom,
march to war.
or for the glory of the Russian Empire. It did not matter, for he would succeed. Michael
courage,
chose to
men.
follow Vladimir's
God will be
commands
with us
and
as we
fought
meet the enemy.
alongside his soldiers. The day would be bloody indeed, but he believed that God would support them and thrust these infidels to hell.
Units, await my order.
The enemy seemed to have been on a very defensible position. The Kazakhs would go to the right. No, actually, let's see. Archers are actually our most vulnerable unit. The king would be by them, along with us, some regular cavalry. They seem to have chosen for themselves the highest point. No matter. Our horses would ride out to meet these infidels. Michael had an incredibly strange force alongside him. The Kazakhs would go at low speeds. They would distract them as the Boyar's sons charged. The time for attack was now. So the entirety of our force charged.
Our men are winning the battle. If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
The cavalry charges smashed through the enemy ranks, killing many of them instantly.
Only half the enemy general flees, like the coward. The enemy army runs.
And with the
We must
decisive
pursue.
strike,
This is a clear victory. The
242
men
of the
great
enemy were
virtue
slain.
and valor.
Michael had proved himself a skillful commander. His decisive moves had secured the immediate area of our rising.
God has delivered us unto victory. An honor to serve, my lord.
He would go back to Ryzane to build up his forces more. Sadly, infantry recruitment was not available in this area. Only archers,
An honor to serve, my lord.
so it should be developed further as his next
honor
goal.
to serve, my lord.
Because apparently I'm too stupid to put those places everywhere. My only place to recruit infantry is actually back here.
If it is a fight you wish, come closer.
And so ended the 31st turn. The Polish had chosen war, and this was something which would have to be reacted to swiftly. We are now at war, my friends.
Battle will resolve our differences. An honor
The
to
king
serve,
himself,
Yes,
seeing a nearby force, rallied
My
his
lord.
troops.
yes, my lord, my lord. An honor to
Zayatas would
serve,
have to
my
be
lord.
on the front lines, although he was not completely trusted. He
Yes.
would be required in this
An
coming
honor
conflict.
to serve, my lord. An honor to serve, my lord. My lord. An honor to serve, my lord. With honor.
He
Yes.
acquired reinforcements
Yes. Men, march.
and began to sit off.
Combining troops. Confronting the enemy honorably, my lord. Set watches.
The king
An
himself from
honor to
Vilnius.
serve, my lord.
Oh,
My
come
lord.
on, why won't you let me...
My lord. An honor to serve, my lord. Orders, my king. Orders, my king.
The king approached the front line of the conflict.
Orders, my king. My lord. Move out.
Vilnius
Joining
would recruit
forces.
more garrison forces for the time being. And the prince would
An
hold,
honor to serve, my
while the
lord.
king went out to exact vengeance for these
God be
transgressions
with us,
upon
men.
this
We
empire.
march to battle. An honor to serve, my lord.
For
An
now,
honor to
progress
serve,
in
my
the
lord.
Far East would have to cease.
Yes.
Michael was disappointed by this fact, but respected the king's decision.
Engage me, or be gone!
An honor to serve, my
The
lord.
Polish would feel the full wrath of
An
Vladimir.
honor to serve, my lord.
And the West would know true fear.
Noble foe, let us see if we can reach an agreement, yes?
No.
You are not convinced? Farewell, then, my lord.
Due to your transgressions against the Russian Empire, you shall be cast down.
An honor to serve, my lord. Honor and courage, soldiers. We march to war. Faith and courage have made an honor to serve, my lord.
Zayatas marched
God be with
forth.
us, men. We march to battle. Set watches. We rest here, men.
Kiev was secure. Vilnius was secure for the time being.
An honor to serve, my lord. Honor and courage,
Due
soldier.
to the lack of
We
will
march to
from the
war.
captain, King Vladimir would take Halike off them. While in the south,
An honor to serve, my lord.
Voislavov would redeem himself by taking the castle of Ayasi, which was held by several cavalry. Money would be kept to be used on the front lines, so forces could be bolstered. I'm actually going to build a garrison quarters because I need to do that so that I can actually get infantry, because I've not been doing that. Mostly expanded my army willy-nilly. The French initiate combat but attempt to bribe Vilnius, or maybe actually attempt to betroth to my heir and get him to leave the faction. But he would know the wrath.
An honor to serve, my lord.
If it is a fight you wish, come closer.
They wish to meet upon the field of battle. I shall grant them their wish.
Confronting the enemy honorably, my lord.
Voislavov,
God will
seeing as this
deliver
was
those
a
who stand
bridge
courageous
battle,
to battle.
wished to tackle this threat very carefully. We would be positioned in
Units, await my order.
Voislavov positioned himself at the back of his army.
Infantry.
The spearmen would head up the front of the formation.
Units.
The Kazakh archers would be behind them.
Infantry. Units. Infantry. Units, march. Crossbow.
And further behind them would be the mercenary crossbowmen.
Advance. Spearmen.
The enemy choose to take the first move quickly.
Forward. With all haste.
The forces of Voislavov positioned themselves in defensive
Forward.
formation.
Onward. Onward. Run. Crossbow.
Our crossbows had superior aim to their base infantry,
Move on. Infantry. March. Move out. Move.
and thus could be used to start aggression on their end.
March. Run. Stand and fight.
Our heavy cavalry lay in wait for when they would be needed.
March. Units, fly like the wind.
Our mercenaries began to pelt their unarmored peasants, attempting to incite a counterattack. Voislavov watched the enemy with anticipation. A reaction was gained, although it was very minor. Crossbowmen moved as close as they could to attempt to see if range could be made. It could not. So the spearmen were commanded to move forth. With the crossbowmen shortly behind them. The spearmen halted their advance as the enemy seemed to brace up, allowing the crossbowmen to get in a better shot. They would continue to fire upon the peasants. The spearmen formed a schildtrom around the center of the field, knowing that their enemy was mostly comprised of horses. Apparently the enemy chose to stand there and take the beating. And so the crossbowmen continued their volleys. The enemy would not move. They refused to engage. Viosolav wished to abuse this fact thoroughly. The crossbowmen, having gotten many kills, ran out of ammunition. Viosolav tested to see if the range of the Kazakhs would be enough to initiate more ranged peppering. But it was not. So it was accepted that the schildtrom would have to move forward. The Cossacks moved forward, grimly. They marched further. They gained range on some dismounted nobles and began peppering them as well. Apparently the Polish were stubborn in the fact that they did not wish to respond to anything. And so the ranged peppering continued. Voislavov realized that they were probably just attempting to slow down his advance, but he honestly thought it was stupid, for they had no reinforcements but these in the area. They were just weakening themselves with their ineptitude and their lack of willingness to push forward. Of course, he thought to himself that his willingness to push forward cost him many lives at Kiev. But he pushed those thoughts away and continued the assault.
Only half the enemy force remains.
At this point, half of their force had been killed by the ensuing projectiles. And yet they still stubbornly refused to move. No matter. What remained of their decent forces would be taken out. After exhausting their ammunition, another was sent forth. The spearmen had moved back due to their loss of members. The skiltrum was moved up, and so were the archers. Again, they were within range, and again, the dismounted knights were peppered upon. Viosolav became bored with this combat and wished for a swift end, but knew of the risk that could cause him and his career. Thus he decided to continue on the grinding assault. But he chose to deal with the peasants first, for they had no armor against their missiles. After the ammunition was spent to the next Kazakh, the last would be sent in, and then after that, they would be forced to engage the enemy head-on. Apparently, due to the small number of them left, the peasants were incredibly difficult to hit, and thus spent much of the last Kazakh's ammo. After the peasants moved slightly out of range, the spearmen were pelted next. Then the assault of projectiles halted, as Viosolav wished to damage the Polish nobles, and thus moved forth for a devastating volley. But then, the enemy chose to make their own advance. The spearmen were pelted. The spearmen chose to use their shields to their advantage and charge the enemy. The javelins of them were fierce. The Cossacks, almost out of ammo, saw the losing fight and fled through friendly lines. The spearmen at the front were left alone to stand against an overwhelming force and were slaughtered to the last. Will you run? Thus, the skirmish continued. Viosolav had had enough. The forces were commanded to march through and crush the enemy. This could prove either horrendous or instrumental. But there was nothing he could do, for all their ammunition had been spent. Thus, the final skirmish began. Even though their troops were heavily armored,
The battle
they
is
had
very
been
much in
battered.
our
They
favor.
had been battered
If we
by the
remain
previous
true and
combat.
steadfast, victory will be ours.
The last of the dismounted nobles were overwhelmed. The boyars were commanded to charge as well. They were commanded to charge. The enemy threw javelins behind itself, disorienting many of our forces. Our infantry would not take this attack lightly. The left force had been broken.
Look how our cowardly foe runs. It's time to press the attack.
If we were to have lost much of our infantry, we would take down as much of theirs as we could as well. And so the boyars began to slaughter whatever they could find. Many javelins were chucked after their enemies. The battle was
This is
over.
a clear victory that goes to only men of great virtue and valor.
Our infantry was battered, but overall the battle had been won. Of course, this brought an uneasy feeling.
No! You have earned the ransom, Lord. Take it! Yes, 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 we can pay. Please, Lord.
Poland chose to accept the ransom,
Defeated. We are
but
victors!
Ayasi was to be sieged.
Orders, my lord. Yes, lord. Confronting the enemy.
And so,
Yes. Surrounding and besieging the settlement.
Vyoslav
The
completed his
siege is
objective.
An honor to serve, my lord.
Battle will resolve our differences.
Honor and courage, soldiers. We march to war. Be ready to move in the morning, men.
If it is the fight you wish, come closer. Battle will resolve our differences.
And thus ends episode 4 of my Medieval 2 Total War series. I hope you all enjoyed. And next time we shall continue the war with Vladimir
Honor to serve, my
taking Halleck
Yes.
and Vyoslav taking Ayasi. After that, who knows what'll happen. But I'll see you next time on Medieval 2 Total War. Thank you and goodbye. Also like, subscribe, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.